Guys, let's get 50 likes and I will release part 4. Chapter 1-9. If the hero wants to restore his cultivation, then he needs to reawaken such a magic seed, like coal sent in during a snowfall. The only thing that causes Luo Chen's only pity is his safety. The guy understands that at the moment there is no need. Use it. Then the brunette's thoughts are interrupted by a knock from the next room. The girl looks out from behind the door, apologizing that her assistant wouldn't be able to move in. She wants to switch places, claiming that sleeping outside is a bit scary. She is willing to double the amount paid for the service. The room, although in reality she can't be calm in the second bedroom, because Wang Fu can send assassins to her. And so it turns out that to get to the main bedroom, Wang Fu will have to go through the second one. So if you switch places, it will have a safety net. Luo Chen clarifies whether this is her wish or not, and then notices that she has everything written on her face. A representative of the fair sex turns away, realizing that she was found out. She coughs in the fist pumping, calling the guy to account. The brunette gives a firm and decisive refusal, which beats right on the girl's heart. She exhales, not believing that her beauty isn't enough to make her feel better. Seduce a teenager like him. The blue-haired girl is sure that none of the guys of his age will not resist it. She throws the towel aside and crawls across the bed towards the hero, stating that maybe she won't be able to sleep tonight. At the same time, she is in a very luxurious dress, accentuating her charms. Chapter 1-10. The girl runs her fingers over the guy's chest, stating that if he does not agree to go to the second, then all she has to do is sleep with him. The hero is because of such defiant. He reacts like a teenager. The seductress notices that the guy, even if creates the impression of being indifferent to everything, is still that of a timid student. Luo Chen realizes that the mortal shell brings him extra trouble, because of which he is not yet able to control some emotions. Seeing that the brunette is ripe for an answer, a representative of the fair sex, she grins, knowing that if he wants to refuse her request, he'll have to leave. Guy nervously asks if the other person is afraid that he might do something to her. Such a reaction, the girl likes it, so she confidently declares that she is not afraid. Inside, she realizes that this situation will be very strange, especially if, by pure chance, people find out about the current situation. It's hard for her to imagine what the consequences will be. Her name is Lambert, and she is a superstar. A representative of the fair sex also notices to herself that if you didn't take into account his absolute equanimity, he didn't even take advantage of it. The moment when she was unconscious, but she's still not entirely sure. Luo Chen is finally here, gives a positive answer. He gets up from the bed, and the superstar starts cheering, thinking that he will go to the other bedroom, so she thanks him. The hero goes to the next bedroom, and then returns a minute later to the main bedroom. Fallow dear. Bear looks back at him blankly, and the dark-haired man has brought her a hairdryer, demanding that I dried my hair and didn't wet the bed. The girl blushes as she accepts the gift. She thought to herself, I'm amazed at how attentive he is. As she flies around in her thoughts, Luo Chen climbs under blankets, declaring that he was sleeping, and that she would not disturb him. After a while, the superstar and go to bed yourself. She wakes up at 3 in the morning, not understanding why things have turned out this way. Exactly. The girl clearly did not want such a result, so she is very nervous and twitches in the dark. Beds. The hero wakes up only in the morning. He takes a sitting position, noting that his head is splitting. Luo Chen looking around, noting that after a bad dream, he simply has unbearable sensations. He's not. He finds the girl next to him, but notices several business cards left under the pillow. The hero picks them up and reads the contents. Lambert asks for forgiveness because she has on her hands only 800 in cash. This may not be enough for the room fee, but it will be enough for the initial payment. After the final payment, the balance will be forwarded to him. She left her contact number on the business cards. This girl arouses some interest in the hero. He gets out of bed and gets dressed, then takes the documents for the Tongju Media Company. The guy decides to go there first today. Luo Chen is sitting at the table. A young man brings the documents to him. He says that's all. Transfer documents to the company, so you just need to put the last signature. Hero. It does this immediately and returns the documents to the subordinate. At this point, the phone starts ringing. It's Zai Amin, who is in a hurry to find out if he's up. The guy gives a positive response and then clarifies what is the matter. The student asks where he is, because already it was almost 9 o'clock, and there is no way he could be late. It turns out that she recommended it. Send your resume to their company, and if something goes wrong, it will be them who will be in an awkward position. The brunette says he'll be there in 10 minutes. Then a representative of the fair sex asks him to call first when he comes up, and not to come right in. Zai Amin approaches from behind. Colleague. She pokes her in the shoulder, then asks if her boyfriend will come to them today for an interview. The student gives a positive answer by hanging up the phone. Interviewee, a little surprised, because the person who took a fancy to their Xiamen should at least to have personal property worth 10 million, so she clarifies why it is necessary. Gets a job in their company. Another girl intervenes in the conversation, who is clearly, I'm more knowledgeable than my colleague. She says it's about $10 million. He's a poor boy from a county town who used to study at the University of St. Petersburg. Go to university with them. Then the first girl doesn't understand how Xiamen is with such beautiful external data could choose such a person. The girls start a conversation next to Xiamen. One of them notices that she has already recommended it for a long time. A friend to break up, because she is from completely different social circles. The other one says that during the university, the difference in their status was not so much affected, but now it is. It's getting bigger and bigger. At this point, the hero enters the room. He greets a girl. The other one jumps up, not understanding why he just walked in. One of my colleagues clarifies whether the person in front of them is a young man named Zhang Xiamen. The hero gives a calm positive response. The girl looks down on Luo Chen, noticing to herself that he's very shabbily dressed. This convinces her that Xingxin's words about poverty were true. The latter also suggests that the hero brazenly relies on Xiamen's help and connections to find out. Then she asks if she's sure it's right for her. Luo Chen notices that this is personal business and it has nothing to do with them. These words infuriate Xingxin. She sees it as an affectation, coolness that is not backed up by anything, so it focuses on the fact that if not Xiamen, even if he came to work as a toilet cleaner, Tongju Media Company, I wouldn't have hired him. Another person intervenes in the conversation. It turns out to be the director. The company. The girls bow their heads, and Xingxin runs up to him, wondering what he did yesterday. The man says he was at the car dealership to make an advance on what she asked for from him. The result of this was the purchase of a car worth more than $1 million without any restrictions. Preferential terms. He hands her the keys to a brand new car. Everyone is happy for her friend, but Xiamen is darker than a cloud. She feels bad about what happened. Director decides to throw a party in a big company. He wants the entire department to be there. Here it is. Notices the hero standing quietly behind Xiamen. Xingxin speaks quickly and briefly about the guy. After that, the man introduces himself. He is Zhang's sales manager. Hi. He was in the HR department, and from now on, he works in their department. He calls the guy boldly. Contact them if you don't understand something. Luo Chen gives a short answer. A man doesn't. He understands how such a poor man could attract the attention of the beautiful Zhang Xiamen. He decides, teach him a lesson. The manager notices that even though he is only working for their company for the first day, he is still working for them. Still, I have prepared one task for him that will allow him to get acquainted with their profession. He has one big client, and their company wants to find the person responsible for creating a favorable image. Prior to that, she had negotiated with them about several artists, but that was all. They were not successful. Let's hope the new guy can sort this out. Oh, those present are seriously tense because of this. Everyone had problems because of this. A large client, because they have a lot of complaints, and they really like to complain. Considering business, the brunette understands that the price offered by the client is very high, and it would be convenient for him. Get some cash. The guy decides to take this job. Chapter 1-12. The girls in the company who have turned on Luo Chen know that he is still a naive fool. After all, this client has already issued an ultimatum for a long time. If he is dissatisfied with this project, then cancels your order. The headmaster says he likes guys as brave as he is. Man gives him until noon to find a celebrity and provide the client with a project. However, if this project is not signed, the losses will be deducted from his salary. The hero understands why to wait until noon, because he can find the right person right now. The words cause first bewilderment in all those present, and then wild laughter because they think it's a stupid joke. The manager thinks that the guy drank too much yesterday, because he should find a celebrity, not some redneck. He begins to drift, because the man believes that the new employee doesn't even know what the celebrity looks like. One of the girls thinks that he has problems with the head, and another admits that she thought at the university he was just a beggar and not stupid. Girls think that a guy wants to show off in front of his beloved at any cost. Xiamen is shaking with anger because her boyfriend has put her in an awkward position. Though, Chen calls her friend, saying that he needs her help. He's ready to go to her. The address for her to drive up right now. The girl menacingly asks the hero to stop all this because she is burning with shame. She walks away from the door in anger. The man is exultant, saying that they will wait for the celebrity who called Luo Chen, and then they'll get together again. Director Zhang goes down to the entrance of the building. The guard notices that he is very happy, so he becomes interested in the reason for this behavior of his superiors. Man, the same person tells the subordinate all the stupidity of the situation that just happened. It counts the new kid to the feeble-minded. The guard laughs at this, supporting the opinion that the guy has trouble with his head since he brags so much, although unlike the boss, the guard doesn't. Discards the option that the new guy didn't lie. He understands that there are too many people in society. Different people, so this may be true. The director also notes that if there were such connections, then it would not make sense for him to come to them and work as a farmhand, and if you bring a superstar, he'll stand on his hands and eat shit. An A1234 car pulls up to the barrier. It has a temporary license plate, and the driver asks for permission to enter. The guard approaches the door to check who the car arrived at. The girl takes off her glasses, and everyone recognizes Lambert. She wants tell her that she's with that boy, but quickly realizes that she doesn't know his name. Director Cheng is shocked by what is happening. At the same time, Xiaomin starts a conversation with the hero. She's trying to figure out what it all means. The girl thinks that the guy specifically wants to embarrass her. Luo Chen elaborates on what he is doing to shame her. Then the representative of the fair sex declares that he'd really disappointed her. She thinks that she knows the guy well, so he just has a lot of fun. There can be no such connections to sign a contract with a star. Xiaomin, like everyone else, believes that her boyfriend says such inappropriate things for the sake of his coolness. Then the hero decides to clarify why the girl did nothing when the guy surnamed Zhang. I dug a hole for him. This only infuriates the interlocutor more. Meanwhile, down below, security guard tries to contain the flow of superstar fans who want to get an autograph from your idol or take a picture. The manager still can't believe his eyes, because reality and the words of the subordinate do not converge at all. Xingxin also notices that the superstar, he doesn't even know the name of the person he's looking for, so it doesn't have to be Luo Chen. Let's hope it's just a coincidence. To the office where Xiaomin is trying to tell you off. Her boyfriend, Lambert, enters. The girls make eye contact, and then the superstar notices the hero. Xiaomin recognizes the girl as Lambert. She is in shock from what is happening, not understanding how this is possible. The brunette asks the guest to sit down. He suggests that she look up the requirements of the client, and if it all triples, then tell him the price. The superstar is a little surprised by this. She thought that the other person was just looking for a reason to meet. Or maybe he really called her by her first name. Business. A representative of the fair sex sits down in a chair, noticing that since yesterday, but Wang Fu never looked for her. She assumes that the hero has connections at the top, because otherwise, given Wang Fu's vindictive nature, there was no way he would let it go. The girl confesses that I wished I'd asked for his number this morning. She also understands that once they have business connections, then she doesn't have to worry about getting close to him anymore. Dark hair clarifies how she arrived so quickly. The superstar says that when he called her, she was I was not far away, so you can say that this is a kind of fate. Xiaomin watching over, but this conversation, trying to figure out how the two met. It suggests that they can, being from the same city, but she quickly dismisses the idea because it sounds like something out of place. Unrealistic. Lambert suddenly turns to Xiaomin. She asks her to close the door because it's too noisy outside. Indeed, there is a crowd of fans at the door who are eager to meet your idols. They are held back by only one guard, who asks them to wait. After all, Lambert is currently discussing a business proposal. A crowd of people gathered at the entrance to the room. Employees begin to discuss what is happening. One of them doesn't understand what's going on, because everyone went crazy after he came back from breakfast. A friend of his tells him that a new employee from the sales department brought Lambert here, and now they sit in the sales department. The first one will immediately recognize one of the most popular stars. The other one is the same. Notices that recently she starred in several films in the main roles, each of which it grossed over $2 billion at the box office. The third guy notices that really, I didn't expect that their sales could become so large. Director Zhang tries to squeeze through the crowd. He encourages his subordinates to stop crowding and start working. Him and himself. It's interesting to see what happens there. Then Xingxin appears from behind and abruptly prescribes to her man in the face. At the same time, Xiaomin notes to herself that Lambert, just an unbearable star. She didn't expect her to be bossing her around right in front of Luo Chen. It hurts her reputation. The superstar agrees to become a representative, so she informs the hero that her agent will contact her in a short time to discuss priority dates. Luo Chen immediately clarifies about the fee. Lambert says that if the guy promises her something, then you won't have to pay. This surprises even the hero because of what he is doing. He hastens to clarify what he has to promise. The girl wants to invite him to dinner, and he will. I must agree. The brunette agrees to these conditions, and then sees off the superstar. Get in the car and is about to leave. But before that, she says goodbye to the guy, asking not to forget about your promise. The girl already knows that Luo Chen can't escape from her. As soon as she leaves, the hero is approached by a trio of colleagues. Each of them is ready to tear up the other just to help him with the project because they want Lan Bai's autograph. Director Zhang doesn't understand why the new kid has such a relationship with a superstar because the latter didn't even know his name. Xingxin thinks he did all this on purpose. The man should not be angry because most likely Luo Chen is fooling Lan Bai. These words, they only make the manager angrier. He suggests that the girl herself tried to deceive such a person. Because fooling people's heads is her skill. The girl offers to search a reason to fire him, and the man notices that this is a stupid idea because today all the work is done. The company found out that he had resolved an issue with a large client. If he shoot him out now, then he would be the one to kill. Your reputation will fall below the baseboard. The man decides to deal with this issue differently because a new employee on the first day of work no longer shows respect to his manager, so he can't let him get away with it. He wants Lai Ru to call Kai to teach the boy lesson. The evening comes, and all the employees head to the party, which will be held in the largest entertainment center in Tongzhou is Villa Hayes. The hero keeps his own equanimity even at such a moment. Two girls behind him are discussing the master's act. Zhang, after all, this corporate event is clearly going to cost several $100,000. My friend admits that. Before, all she could do was glance sideways in the direction of this building, but she'd never been able to see it. I dared to enter. Luo Chen is curious about what's going on. He wants to get to know you better. Employees of the company to see if there are any people who can be used. The manager is approached by a pumped-up man together with a girl. This is the same Kai. They exchange a couple of phrases. It turns out that the jock works for the bio. This is the boss of the underground world. Tongzhou. Director Zhang admits that the other person is very cool. Kai wants to meet you. An interesting person who joined their department today. The interlocutor points to the hero, saying that this is the boyfriend of their company's beauty Zhang Xiaoman. Kai goes to get acquainted with a closer brunette. Luo Chen notices Wang Kai. He doesn't understand what this madman is doing here. The last one, she approaches him, asking if he is Luo Chen. The hero attentively looks at it, after which, asks if they know each other, taking silence for a negative answer. He asks the interlocutor, don't block his path. After that, he pretentiously passes by it. Kai also notes that the kid was pretty brave. He wonders if he'll be just as cool. A little bit later, Xingxin notices that Luo Chen has already provoked Kai. Director Zhang notes that it will be very interesting. The celebration begins. Kai congratulates his friend on the purchase. A new car. Xiaoman still decides to ask how her boyfriend met Lan Bai. The brunette claims that it does not concern her. This makes the girl more angry. By noticing, since most people are already full and drunk, Kai suggests that we go upstairs and have a little fun. Have some fun. Zhang doubts this, but the other person points out that this room belongs to the owner, Bio, so he knows everything there. All the manager has to do is bring Luo Chen to him, and he'll take care of the rest. They go up to the top floor, where a huge bunch of people are gambling. Kai says that in the outer zone, the upper limit for open chips is only 1,000, so there are not many people playing here. But in the inner zone there are no restrictions on chips. That's why it's so much more interesting. Xingxin notices that Kai is well versed in this. The latter's companion claims that they go to play every weekend, but this is their first time together. Enter the inner zone. Director Zhang hands his companion a map with 50 points on it, by the thousands, offering to play. After that, he asks if Luo Chen wants to go with Xiaoman, play around. The hero notices that in this casino, 9 out of 10 games are losses. Kai, tell me, what if the guy doesn't have any money? Then let him say so, otherwise his beautiful words don't make any sense. Meaning, Xingxin also says that if he does not play, then he should not spoil the mood. To others, Xiaoman struggles out of Luo Chen's arms, saying that she will go. The guy warns her not to go there. However, the girl claims that it is not her business. She's fuming, but still, he approaches his friends, wanting to spend time with them. The man grins, understanding that the fish was hooked. Guys, let's get 50 likes and I will release part 4.